a big day today. Jurassic World Dominion comes out, and I'm going to the very first showing that I was able to go to, the first IMAX showing. For some reason, there was no IMAX showings on Thursday like there normally is, but I'm going to the first Friday showing. I absolutely love Jurassic World and Jurassic Park, obviously. If I had an obsession as a kid, every kid has an obsession when they grow up. My obsession was dinosaurs. I love them. I love the Jurassic Park movies. I love Jurassic World when it came out. When Jurassic World came out in 2015, I went to the theater to see it 3 times. At the time, it was the movie I had seen the most in theaters. I know I'm in the minority of loving Jurassic World. It's one of my most rewatched Blu-rays. It just feels like a movie that's personally tailored to me, again, because of my love of dinosaurs. But again, I acknowledge that I'm in the minority. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, on the other hand, I do not really like at all. I watch it whenever I watch Jurassic World, but as long as Jurassic World Dominion does not take place in a mansion, it's automatically going to be better than Fallen Kingdom, in my opinion. I'm really, really excited to see how the original trio are introduced into the storyline and how they interact with Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard. I'm really excited to see Alan Grant back specifically, obviously Dr. Ian Malcolm too, and then obviously again Laura Dern's character. Really, really excited. I just hope that they are able to portray their characters really, really well. I've only seen a couple trailers for Jurassic World Dominion. I reacted to one on the page and I don't really remember them, but there's like one shot of Dr. Alan Grant and just the look on his face looks like Sam Neill knows how to re-embrace that character. So I'm really excited. So we're going to go see Jurassic World Dominion, but before we do that, there's another thing coming out today. Another thing that I've been really, really, really looking forward to. And that other thing is the Quarry on PS5. I've been incredibly hyped for this game. Until Dawn is one of my favorite games of all time. I absolutely love that game. And this is a new game, very similar to Until Dawn, made by the people who made Until Dawn. This is being marketed as a spiritual successor to Until Dawn, which makes me incredibly happy because I know they make the Dark Pictures anthology, Man of Medan, Little Hope, the new one, House of Ashes, but I personally don't really care too much for them, though I do play them. They're very clearly a step down to Until Dawn. So I'm really hoping that the Quarry is what they say, a true spiritual successor that can truly live up to Until Dawn. And since I got it on launch day, I got a free poster, which is really, really cool. So I'm gonna go watch Jurassic World Dominion. You can't see it, but the movie theater is right there. And then I'm gonna give you my initial reaction to it, my first thoughts on that movie. And then I'm gonna go home and play the Quarry for a couple hours. And then I'm gonna give you my first thoughts on that as well. So we just got back from Jurassic World Dominion, and I have a lot of thoughts. A lot of good thoughts, and a lot of, not a lot, but some negative thoughts. But first things first, it is better than Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. It was a very low bar to jump over, and that it did, in my opinion. So this isn't a movie review. This isn't my overall thoughts on the film, period. This is just my initial reaction, my initial thoughts, and they are subject to change. And to organize this better for me personally, because my brain is like a jumbled mess right now, I'm going to separate it into positives and negatives, and I'm going to start with the positives. So the first positive thing is, I said this in the beginning of the video, and I'm going to say it again, I absolutely love dinosaurs, and there's a lot of dinosaur fun to be had here. Like, if you're a fan of just dinosaurs wreaking havoc on things, you're going to get that in this movie. In terms of the Jurassic World series, now I'm not talking about Jurassic Park, Lost World, or Jurassic Park 3, but in the Jurassic World trilogy, this movie, in my opinion, has some of the best dinosaur on human scenes. There are some scenes in this movie that are some of the best, again, dinosaurs terrorizing human scenes that we've gotten in the entire trilogy. I'm going to go into slight spoilers here, so if you haven't seen the movie, go watch it and then come back and watch this. Only slight spoilers, though. But there's one scene in particular that you probably saw in the trailer. It's when our main whole full cast of characters are next to the Jeep at nighttime and the big, giant-ass dinosaurs on them. That scene in particular I found riveting. I absolutely loved it. I think that was the most horrifying a dinosaur felt in the entire Jurassic World trilogy. And not only that, there were some other very memorable scenes involving dinosaurs. One on ice. There was a car chase involving dinosaurs that I thought at first was going to be really stupid. And when you think about it in context of the story, it was really stupid. But I was on the edge of my seat. I was riveted. I liked that sequence a lot. And also, there are some close-ups of the dinosaurs in this movie, and they look the best that I remember them looking in the Jurassic World trilogy. It looks like they really took note of people complaining about how most of the dinosaurs looked CGI, and there were some shots in particular that looked amazing. It looked like animatronics a lot of the time. But on the flip side, and here's just one of the negatives, is there were other times that I noticed where the dinosaurs looked kind of blurry, and I feel like that was them tricking you because the CGI probably looked like shit and they thought if they blurred it a little bit it would look, you know, not as obvious CGI. Now let's talk about one of the main things, one of the main draws to this movie, and that is the return of the original trilogy. Dr. Alan Grant, Ian Malcolm, Ellie Sattler, they're all back. And in my opinion, when they're on screen is when I liked the movie the most. Specifically, Dr. Ellie Sattler. She really embraced her character from the movie that she was in. I really, really liked every scene that she was in. I believed her motivations. I believed her goal. Plus, Laura Dern is just an amazing actress. Dr. Alan Grant, he was in scenarios and situations in this movie that we don't normally see him in. Like, normally we see him covered in mud, running from dinosaurs on an island. That happens a little bit in this movie too, but for the most part, he's put in different scenarios. And it's kind of like a fish out of water type thing where you can tell he's not in an element he's comfortable with. And a lot of the time it's played for humor. Dr. Ian Malcolm. Now, obviously, Jeff Goldblum is a funny dude. Everything he's in is funny. Almost every single line that he delivers is either really thought-provoking or really funny. But Jeff Goldblum has gotten to a point in his career that I feel like he's always sort of playing himself. He always has the same, you know, iconic Jeff Goldblum speech pattern. So it's harder for me to determine if he was Ian Malcolm or if just Ian Malcolm was Jeff Goldblum and he is still Jeff Goldblum, therefore seeming similar. Another big positive that I have about this movie is the way that the legacy characters interweaved into the plot, into the story itself. Like, they weren't treated like your typical legacy character in a returning franchise. They had their own plot going on. When Laura Dern was introduced, she was not part of Chris Pratt or Bryce Dallas Howard's storyline. She had her own thing going on. So did Ian Malcolm, so did Alan Grant. They had their own separate plot going on aside from everything else, which, in my opinion, showed those characters more respect than how a lot of other franchises handle legacy characters. And then that way, when their characters did combine with the new characters, it didn't feel cheap. It felt more earned, in my opinion. But yeah, I enjoyed watching this movie. I enjoyed every minute that I was sitting there in the IMAX theater watching this film. I will say this. Whenever I watch Jurassic World, I'm going to watch this right afterwards. And I will say that now that this movie exists, I'm probably rarely, very, very rarely am I ever going to watch Fallen Kingdom again. The only reason that I ever really watched Fallen Kingdom was because I watched Jurassic World and I wanted more dinosaur goodness on my TV screen. Now that I can just watch this one after, I can't find a reason for me to really rewatch Fallen Kingdom much ever. Another random thing, not random because it's about dinosaurs, and dinosaurs is arguably the biggest draw about this movie, but there was a lot of different species in this movie. A lot of dinosaurs that you don't typically see in Jurassic Park or Jurassic World movies. Dinosaurs we've yet to see on screen, including more from what we know and based on modern science, more realistic looking dinosaurs. Like, there are actually dinosaurs that look like birds and with feathers. I'm told that's how dinosaurs actually looked, and they're in this movie, so that's cool. Now, I'm going to get into some negatives that I have with the film. The biggest, most glaring, most obvious negative that I have a feeling a lot of people are going to have with it, it's something that I have with it for the most part, is that this movie does not feel like a Jurassic Park movie. Hell, this movie doesn't even really feel like a Jurassic World movie. This movie begins with a chase sequence. Cars chasing a Jeep with gun shooting. There is a motorcycle chase through the streets of Barcelona or wherever the hell they were. There is a helicopter crashing in the Italian mountains. There is an underground crime organization with guns and black markets and everything going on like that. This plot goes all over the country. There's a lot of stuff happening. This isn't really Jurassic World. This is Mission Impossible. This is Fast and Furious. This is John Wick with dinosaurs. Now, that's not a negative thing about those movies. I like all of those franchises. It's just that it's not really what I want when I buy a ticket to Jurassic World. But despite that, I still had fun. Like, I'm not going to lie to you and say that I didn't enjoy watching this movie. I did enjoy watching this movie. There's just a lot happening in this movie that a lot of people, including me, it's not our preferred way to watch a Jurassic Park movie. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to see a small group of characters being terrorized by dinosaurs. I don't really buy a ticket to this franchise to see human-on-human gunfighting and fistfights and Chris Pratt fucking up an underground crime syndicate. I don't really buy a ticket to this to see plane crashes. There is a lot of stuff happening in this movie. There's a new science business bad guy. Maisie does play a significant role in this movie. I know a lot of people didn't like her in Fallen Kingdom. Like, her plot in Fallen Kingdom just being a clone. It didn't need to be in Fallen Kingdom at all. It served absolutely no purpose in the plot other than giving her a reason to free the dinosaurs, which a different writer could have given her a reason despite making her a clone. But I will say Maisie as a character was really annoying in like the first, third of this movie. But the rest of the movie, I didn't dislike her. I actually found her character to be a bit more compelling as the plot progressed. But one of the bigger flaws I think that this movie has is it rehashes a lot of what we had already seen in Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom. Like I said, there's another scientist who's trying to profit by doing something evil. There's that sort of thing. There's the end where the T-Rex, spoiler alerts again, where the T-Rex teams up with another dinosaur to take out the biggest dinosaur. It's stuff that we've seen, and again, I enjoyed watching it, but like, it's rehashed. I know it's rehashed. But yeah, that's my quick initial thoughts on Jurassic World Dominion. Like, me being me, I liked the movie. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I'm also gonna tell you, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I love dinosaurs. I grew up being obsessed with dinosaurs. These types of movies are made for people like me, you know what I mean? So I'm not gonna tell you that I'm unbiased. I absolutely love dinosaurs. I really, really like Jurassic World. But this is the type of movie that I have a strong feeling the only way for me to determine how much I like it is the test of time. You know what I mean? How often am I gonna actually rewatch it? How frequently am I gonna think about it? How frequently am I gonna look at it on my Blu-ray and 4K shelf and wanna watch that? I don't know. I think I'm gonna wanna watch it frequently. At least once a year. That's what my mind and my gut is telling me. I may be wrong. But anyway, that's my initial thoughts on Jurassic World Dominion. What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments. And like I said in the beginning of this video, there's a part 2 to this video that's going to be part of this same exact video. And that's a video game. A new video game came out, the Quarry. And I'm about to sit down and try it for the first time. And after I play it for an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, I'm going to let you know my initial thoughts on that as well. 94 seconds left of the installation. 88 seconds, actually, I lied. 86. 85. Okay, I just played about an hour of the Quarry. I wish I got to play more. Unfortunately, I didn't. So my thoughts right now are going to be on the first about hour of gameplay. Initial thoughts. I am really, really, really enjoying myself, which it's like I feel like a bullet was going slow motion towards my brain due to how much I really did not care for the Dark Pictures games and how disappointing they were when comparing them to Until Dawn. But based on that first hour, I think The Quarry is how it was marketed to be, a true spiritual successor to Until Dawn. Again, I only played an hour, so I'm not going to act like I know a lot about the characters or the plot, but I will say this, the plot is engaging. What I'm seeing right now has me hooked. What I've seen makes me want to keep playing in terms of the plot, which is something that, it's been a hard achievement for a horror game to do that for me, personally, recently. For example, another game that I've recently been playing is The Medium, which is a great game. You should check it out, and I am enjoying it for the most part. But this game has sort of been a drag for me to get through simply because I don't really care about the plot that much. But yeah, The Quarry, great characters so far. Great. Again, I like it. I like the setup. I like the characters. I like the world. And it's definitely polished. I'll say that. One of the biggest flaws about the Dark Pictures games is that they felt so unpolished when compared to Until Dawn. This game feels like more time and effort is put into it. Now, does it warrant the $70 price tag on PS5? I don't know yet, but I can say this. It's definitely a better product, technically, than the Dark Pictures games. Anyway, that's my quick thoughts about The Quarry after one measly hour of gameplay. If you want to hear my thoughts about the game as I play it more, let me know in the comments. If enough people are interested, I will talk about it when I beat it. But yeah, that's it for this video. Again, let me know what you thought about Jurassic World Dominion. Let me know what you're thinking about The Quarry if you're playing it. And consider subscribing to this channel if you like TV show discussions, trailer reactions, movie discussions, video game discussions, and of course, just videos like this.